Hello, this is Roger Shouse, and this is Jumpstart Rewind. This is part of our Heaven Bound podcast family. Mark chapter 16 and verse 15. And he said to them, "Go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation." Our verse is commonly called the Great Commission. Great because of the scope of what was involved, all creation. Great because of what was offered, salvation to all mankind. These words would be challenging and in many ways very, very uncomfortable to those who first heard it. All creation would include the people that the apostles would not want to talk to. It would include those who they would never want to talk to. It would include those who they probably didn't like. Across town, across the seas, those apostles would travel to cities they'd never been to before. New people, new climates, new foods, new cultures, and very different experiences. A long, long way from home. Doing things such as preaching before audiences that wasn't easy for them. Uncomfortable is something that they would just have to deal with. And that is the nature of our faith, being able to adjust and do what is uncomfortable to us. The idea of denying yourself, taking up your cross, are not comfortable concepts. Turning your cheek and going the extra mile, loving your enemy, and forgiving those who have hurt you, none of those things are in the realm of what we call as common, natural, or comfortable. It seems that our times today have tried to tame Christianity, water down the message, and make it look pleasant, easy, and comfortable. The modern church offers a salvation without change. The Bible doesn't. The modern church is soft on doctrine and strong on feelings, acceptance, and good times. And in doing that, the image as presented is not distinct or even different from the world. Why become a Christian when a Christian is the same as the man in the world, except for occasionally showing up at a church building now and then? The cross is not comfortable. It's heavy. It's rough. It gives you splinters. It will weigh you down. It's also bloody and a symbol of death. But today, some have padded that old rugged cross. They made it look pretty and nice. It's no longer offensive. It's no longer uncomfortable. It became quite attractive. Our uncomfortable faith, it moves us out of our comfort zone. It compels us to do things that we would likely never do on our own. And like those early apostles, when we move by faith, we find ourselves doing the uncomfortable simply because it's the right thing to do. For instance, serving the Lord in public worship is very hard for some. We preachers have done it for so long that we think nothing of it. But there are those whose knees shake, their palms sweat, their voice quivers, and their heart races when asked to lead a prayer or to head the Lord's Supper. Beyond uncomfortable, some nearly pass out in fear. Yet somehow they find the courage and the strength to do the job. Many do amazingly great, uncomfortable, yet serving. Inviting someone to services is high on the list of things that Christians find uncomfortable. Not knowing what to say, how to handle questions, or worse, a rejection. So many feel ashamed and guilty because of how uncomfortable this makes them feel. There's a guy at work, but I'm just afraid to bring it up. There's that person in the family. I need to. I ought to. But I'm so uncomfortable with that. It's like having two left legs at the same time. But those who do those things understand you put your personal feelings aside. Uncomfortable as it may be, you do it for the greater good of trying to show someone Jesus. The Bible is specific and plain about going to a person who sinned against me. Jesus said that in the Gospels. That's uncomfortable for most of us. We can tell a third party. We can tell the elders. We can call the preacher up and tell him. But going to the parties involved, too uncomfortable for us, and so most of us don't do that. So how do we deal with these uncomfortable moments in our faith? What did the apostles do? They trusted the Lord and they did it. They went into all the world. Their experience was more difficult than they thought it would be. Paul said of his travels that he was hungry and thirsty and homeless and poorly treated. It may have been worse than what they ever imagined, a living nightmare. Yet they did it. They did it because the Lord was wanting them to do it. They did it because the Lord endured the cross. They did it because our journey isn't about us, it's about the Lord. Giving up a few pleasures and comforts, they became uncomfortable for the Lord. Too often when we are uncomfortable with something, we simply won't do it. They did it. They did it because He did it. When was the last time you really became uncomfortable for Jesus? Sure is something to think about, isn't it? Thank you.